Greetings and salutations. Once more adventure the void of disappointment. This time following on this time into the realms of TV series and how they've left me feeling more than a little disappointed because of... Oh hey, it could be so much better, but no, this is what we get instead. To begin with, we get the latest series of Red Dwarf, the 10th series, or as it was known, as was advertised, Red Dwarf X. What the hell is it with numerals? It's not like we actually use it all that often. For me, Red Dwarf 10 is the latest series in the adventures of Dave Lister, basically a bum or no-hoper in a dead-end job as such. The last human left alive, only kept with the company of a few others, oddballs in a universe pretty much alone or otherwise out to get him with gelfs, or renegade mechanoids. I've felt something was missing in the entirety of Red Dwarf 10. It felt like he had returned to a status quo of possibly Series 6, or before they basically lost the dwarf. So much has happened since then, and it feels like more to be shown for it. For particular, well, Rimmer had his highlight drive, but he lost the highlight drive in Series 8 when that version of Dave Lister, Arnold Rimmer, left. And we got introduced to another Arnold Rimmer in Series 9, the one that was the original, that was resurrected from his dust and all that lot. But ultimately, the one flaw that really annoys me out of the entire series is the end of one of the particular episodes, where the whole thing seems to be played on irony. And the biggest irony is that it begins with Rimmer bugging Lister about health and safety, and left a box of safety forms to be filled out. Safety reports, accident reports, and all that lot. And it ends with a woman who they recovered, who they turned back from being a monkey due to her experiments, making a pass at Rimmer. And what happens? She falls over that box into an airlock. Rimmer's going, don't touch that button, and what happens? She is flushed out into outer space. We don't see anything, but for the sake of a joke, out in the acts of clumsiness, they have killed off a woman, a character introduced no less than about 10 minutes ago, just to throw away for a cheap gag, to screw over Rimmer, and to play on the whole irony thing, that he was responsible for that mistake. But still, it feels distasteful. Where the hell did they think they could get away with that? I've heard people complain about other things, but throughout the entire series, which I felt was, as I said before, a little disappointing, that thing stands out as, that's wrong! Moving on, we've got Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, the latest series of the Scooby-Doo that started back all those years ago, where it's quite different. The gang are facing actual peril. It actually looks like something's out to kill them for once. The characters are more colourful. They actually show signs of development. There's an underlying plot going on at all that picks up in the first series and ends in the very last with a case of what the hell? The mystery is real and it's reality shattering, that's what it is. But the last series, there's an episode called Stand and Deliver, where the gang are investigating apparent English highwayman called the Dandy Highwayman, who is robbing couples and running off with the missus. All because they go with him because he speaks elegantly to them. He speaks civilly, properly. And what does he do with them? He takes them to his hideout and leaves them alone in a room with sweets and a giant pile of gossip magazines. Very nice, Scooby-Doo Incorporated. Playing nice to the stereotypes, and do you know what? It doesn't get any better. The Dandy Highwayman is revealed to be an awkward librarian who took on this persona to get around and meet girls, to show them a good time as such. And when he's asked how does he put up with having to listen to the girls all that time, he reveals, he learned to listen. And earplugs. And the male cast in the end revealed they learned something from the Dandy Highwaymen, because they too are using earplugs. Now isn't that just bloody charming? I generally enjoyed the rest of all the series, but this one stands out as you're playing this bad stereotyping, and yet again, not that stereotype is a good thing to begin with. But this, you could have done something so much more clever. Speaking of being clever, let's move to what is not. I've covered this before, but why the hell not cover it yet again? Avatar: Legend of Korra. I put it out before, it is generally a good series, but it's let down by one major factor. The whole relationship drama going on between the main character Korra and Mako. Because we got from the beginning that, oh, he's standoffish, he's snobbish, he doesn't like her at first, then he starts to like her. His brother thinks they would be an ideal couple, because they're fun, they're compatible, yes, they make the best of friends, and then Mako kisses Korra. And while his brother Bolin has his moment of basically his heart's been broken, but he gets over it. So anyone dares accuse him of being a nice guy, you seriously have no comprehension of the idea of this bullshit that known as the nice guy syndrome. This relationship drama continues on through the rest of the series. We have, in the background, the building blocks of a conflict between elemental benders and those who can't, who are taking up the arms of technology to combat them, to take back their world against what they feel is unjust. But ultimately, what is the main factor of this? Is that damn relationship and the damage it does. Not to mention that ending, as I've complained about before, the happy bloody ending. We could have had it not be that, where people are having to learn to do without that bending, without the damage being repaired. Where Korra basically lost all her abilities to bend elementals, forces, but yet has her air bending unleashed. But no, she is restored to everything as she has the air bending on top of it. I can only hope a Book of Spirits is a lot better and the relationship drama nonsense is cut down to a bloody minimum. Now to another topic I've touched on before, Neo Genesis Evangelion. Pretty much the same thing as with Korra. We have the background of a war between humanity and the angels going on for the sake of humanity's future. But overall, what is the series about? Is basically summary of their screw over the main characters as mean and as spiteful as possible. Shinji Ikari is screwed over time and again. He gets his confidence up only to be slapped down harder than ever. And there's even a point where Asuka, the most confident, the cocky of the characters, is violated mentally by an angel that puts her into a coma for a while. That she doesn't really recover until she finally realizes the truth behind the driving force of her Ava unit. And what happens after that? We are treated to one of the most gruesome scenes in a non-18 rated anime where her unit and her with it is devoured. We could have had so much more, so much potential, but it's lost because we have to screw over the main characters because we can't have the drama without it. Talking about lost potential, Transformers Prime. First series, we get the character building, but unfortunately it's mostly focused on RC and Bulkhead. Any story elements seem to be tied up way too quickly. And in series 2 it gets even worse, where it's just all focused on this relic hunt, whereas the focus is on the relics. And then we have Bulkhead's dilemma being just thrown out the window in a few episodes, where we could have had a more in-depth story of he never comes out of a coma before the end of the series, or his handicap does not go away. Series 3 does seem to be handling things better. Yeah, there's another relic hunt going on, but that's just the background. We're getting character development going on. Character interactions of those who have never been panning up before. So much potential in the series has been lost. And it just feels like the comics, from what I heard, seem to do us so much better. Now for things, something I haven't covered before is Futurama, namely the last 2 series that came on after the feature length specials, on when it was renewed. It just feels like the last 2 episodes, the last 2 series, was a case of the people behind it had been watching Blackadder. Because a case of, we got 2 specials. The first one was a social event holiday special. We got 3 different tales of the characters having their own celebrations going on that ends up with being dead at the end. And then the last series was a nature special, where the characters are playing the role of different animals, and it ends with either the entire crew, or at least one of them dead by the end. It just felt disappointed. It did not have the quality behind it that the What If episodes did. It could have been, like I said before, so much better, but no. They could have cut the series short by 1 episode so we didn't have these specials. Could have had something so much better, but no. We got these, which was just in the end was basically an excuse to kill these people off again, and again. And then we come to, yet again, something we covered before, Doctor Who, first episode, series 7, Asylum of the Daleks. And that's domestic drama between the Ponds, where Amy is basically claiming that she loves Rory more because she walked away from the relationship because they could no longer have kids, and she knew how much he wanted to have kids and to raise them as a family. And still, I'm claiming bullshit on that. Some may be more forgiving of it, some may think other aspects of the series is more disappointing. But still, this is what screams out to me in the entire series as the most disappointing moment. Oh, just one I didn't add in my notes for this. The My Little Pony cartoon, Friendship is Magic. I don't watch it, I'm not a fan. I'm not going to scream and shout of how crap it is or how you shouldn't be watching it. The only thing I'm going about is the one who ended up being called Derpy because of an animation error in it. We could have had so much better with that. Instead of them being turned into a running joke, from what I hear they became, they could have been treated so much better as a more realistic example of a mental handicap, of how they really deal with life, how it's not an entirely crippling condition. Hell, it could be so much simpler as that character had a lazy eye. But no, they had to go and make them a running gag. So, this is my disappointment in TV series that I have seen. There's probably a hell of a lot more out there. I just haven't seen it, or I just don't care. Some I've covered before, some I haven't. But this is just my opinion on it. So, until next time, peace out, people.